#Real Race Talk. It's the Revved Up Sports Show talking local, regional, and national action. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
And oh man, there we go. It's just been a Monday. Hello, friends. Diving in once again. It is #Real Race Talk live. As always, it is the Revved Up Sports Show. Showtime. Bobby Chaffee down south, Rodney Rodriguez up north, and we're diving in for another hour and a half or so of full throttle fucking entertainment. That's what we're going to bring you guys coming up here today. And we've got great guests that are lined up, and really looking forward to the program.
April Fools, we got great guests lined up. Just one.
Fool, yeah. I tell you, with one, I bet like Caldwell County is going to close down. I bet over there at the Lockhart Square, I bet they probably got a big screen up at the courthouse to watch 3 of Caldwell / Hayes County's greatest ever talking
right.
one time about car racing, right?
Tres Amigos in Caldwell County.
Yeah, it's like the 3 pendejos all at one time from Caldwell County about to dive in. Of course, talking about Terrible Tim Soul coming up. The big winner at Hart Cotton Bowl Speedway. Big win out there the other, and one hell of a way that he did it too. I mean, it was a fantastic drive for Tim and well deserved for him. Then we're going to go up north. We're going to go up to Kilgore. We'll go up to the land of the Rangerettes. No Rangerettes on the show, but we will talk some Lone Star Speedway as Patrick Order will join us, and we'll kind of get a little bit of the intel on what's going on there. They're coming off of their Enduro that they had this past weekend. But, Bobby, I'm sick and tired already, and we're a week away. We're a week away. Even on my sports show today, people are all up in arms about the eclipse. It's going to rain.
Yeah, they ain't going to get to see it now.
Like, I don't care. I don't understand the concept. I'm like, here's the eclipse here. This is my eclipse. This is like, okay, this is how I control. I have an eclipse every day right here with my little light here on my little desk. But it's like, now the weather's turning bad. And I even saw Jim Spencer posted a while ago where he's like, you people need to calm down. We're a week away. Jeez Louise, man. Hey.
A lot of people spend a lot of money to spend 5 minutes in heaven up there at Fredericksburg. B&Bs and all kind of stuff up there. Fredericksburg, Kerrville, all them hill country towns are going to get invaded by a bunch of invaders this weekend and stay till Monday. So,
man,
I don't get surprisingly as many agency days as we get off. We are not off on Monday. We were off today.
Well, hopefully you ain't got to go to the office because it's going to be a shit show. I mean,
I got to go to the office on Monday, but
oh Lord, what a way to go back. I mean, I had some folks messaging on the show today where they were talking about that there's signs on 35 where it's like, do not stop to pull over to watch it. I'm like, oh my God. It just takes one dipshit. One. And you're going to have a catastrophic, well, they've already called it a possible catastrophic incident. I'm assuming that's why. But come on, man. Then people are going to be looking up there. They're going to look up and they're going to lose their sight. And oh Lord, man, why has everything got to be so out of control these days, BC? I just don't get it.
Well, that's just the way people are nowadays. Instant gratification, and 4.5 minutes of instant gratification is what it's going to take for that eclipse. But apparently, there's shitty weather all the way up. Like
that's what she said.
There's shitty weather the whole path of this eclipse, man. I don't think it's just Texas that Mother Nature's picking on. Like, it's supposed to be shitty weather the whole way up into Kentucky and the upper Midwest and all of that. Like, it's supposed to be hurt pretty bad.
Yeah, I saw them saying just a little bit earlier that if indeed the weather is bad here, that the prime spot to see it is going to be like somewhere in Ohio. It's like, damn, that's some kind of front. If it's like Texas is here, Ohio's like way the hell over there, man. That's really something that's going to jack stuff up. If that range of visibility or perfect whatever is going to change that much.
Yeah, it's going to change that much. So we'll see. Still a week away. I know that Jim Spencer was getting frustrated with all the answers, but our boy David Yeomans is now back up in Chicago.
Yeah. The other slick Yeomans making his way to Chicago, man. And did you see? And here we are, just the shit that you and I look at. I mean, it's like the new stuff. He is now going to be working with Albert Ramon
Yep.
from 24. Now they're together. Albert Ramen Noodles. Now they're together. And it's like, man, they've got a reunion going on in the Windy City. That's pretty cool.
Didn't see that coming. I thought he had like a national gig with like the Weather Channel or something like that coming up. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought he might be doing Weather Channel or maybe to CBS or CBS National or something like that. Speaking of Hayes and Caldwell County, check this out. Our man Russell Vickery, that's a Caldwell County original resident. Hell, I think he's probably still there. TxDOT sent out a deal, no permit loads on the day of that. Oh God. And see, and here's another one. Hey, look, we just got, I mean, it's all Hayes and Caldwell County today. Sugar Sean Folsom saying howdy, guys. Sugar Sean Folsom, that dude, have you noticed with him? So, like, when we saw him a couple of weeks ago over at the Coda, when he's over there working around, remember at first he was just kind of, doing his thing, photographer. Now he's like interviewing drivers, and that dude roams around there like he owns that damn media center. You notice that shit?
He kind of got an extra pep in his step every time we see him.
Yeah. He came up to me on Sunday. I was outside before we went live, and I was just kind of hanging out, just kind of killing time, looking around. And he walked up, and he's like, I said, yeah, lighter day. Once we get done, that's kind of it. He's like, yeah, a pretty light day for me. I just got to talk to Jeff Gordon and then talk to whoever else. I'm like, well, shit, I ain't talking to Jeff Gordon. No, we are not talking to Jeff Gordon.
Well, not. We could. Back in the heyday, we could have.
Yeah, we could have. I asked him for a soundbite one time. He's like, I ain't doing that. I'm like, okay, Jeff. Thanks, Mr. Jeff. It's like one of those things like, thanks, Mr. Jeff. I appreciate that. Alex Bowman, also, Bowman the Showman. And, of course, everybody knows Sean Folsom has a very close relationship with Miss Almendinger, with Tara. So I mean, this dude's doing a hell of a lot better than we are. I will say that. And I'm jealous.
Yeah, well, What do you say? I mean, hard work pays off, right? Knowing the right people pays off.
Yeah, do. Your dad is not watching it at all. Dad, don't look up.
Get outside. I need to make sure he's got a pair of glasses just in case he does go outside.
Yeah, that's right. And if he does go outside, don't look straight up because it may be the last time you do it and actually be able to see something. Eddie Ross checking in, and look at this guy. Now he's just gloating. I also talked to Haley Deegan. Well, we talked to her a long time ago, Sean. So anyway, good stuff right there. How's Texana, man? Looked like a really good night over there. Stems was locked and loaded, man. I gotta send you something. I want to show you guys something here that Jacob Horch sent over to me just a little bit earlier. Let's make sure that I can find it. Take a look at this right here from Texana on Saturday night. Ground pounders, bitches. That's what I call them, and that's what they are.
That's what it was. I mean, it was a hell of a show. They put on they had a hell of a car count, which is really outstandingly great. I was very, very pleased about the car count. And so we came through. They got the dog in that picture. Let me go back. Hold on.
That's all right. Keep the dog. That helps viewership.
Yeah, to check to see what he's doing next.
Maybe gonna take a piss over there, and that's the last thing we need. Well, I mean, that's the last thing you need. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. He'd been outside before we started, so no, it was a hell of a show. I thought that the car count was exceptionally good for an opening night there at Texana. Lots of Corpus cars showed up, so I think that Owen's idea of being dual registered with both classes has actually worked out really well in the initial stage. Now the next step will be a couple of Friday night shows. Got back-to-back Friday shows coming up on April 12th and April 19th. So those will be interesting to see how well the local crowd comes out to those. Some of the drivers could see a few more Corpus drivers bundling up, trying to run. You're there on a Friday, but the Race Ranch doesn't run back to back. You saw where Houston will run back to back on a couple of shows. But yeah, I mean it was all in all. I thought it was a really good show. Stims put on a hell of a race.
Your dad, he just wants to see Britt Moreno. I know this guy. I know his angle right here. He's going to watch it on KXAN. Yeah, I totally get what he's doing right there. Or what's her name? The traffic. No. The weather coach.
Yeah,
Kristen. Yeah, that's what he's up to right there. We can talk about more about Texana here in just a little bit. I had a fantastic night of action at Heart of Texas Speedway on Friday night, which truly turned into but more on that later. So anyway, yeah, really good weekend of action. Is everybody really kicking off and getting set? I know we're having fun about the eclipse and all that, but let's get down to business. Let's do this Caldwell County thing that we're talking about. Look at this guy right here. I'll tell you, he's you gotta love it. You gotta love it when folks are primed and ready to go to hop on Revved Up. A lot of folks are like, whatever. But he looks good right there. There he is, winner. Terrible Tim. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. How are you, Rod? How about you, Bobby?
Hanging in there.
And not terrible. And not terrible on
not terrible.
Saturday night, my friend. For one thing, talk about that race car. That's a bad mamma jamma you got right there, dude.
This car was actually built by myself. Every pipe, every weld, everything on this car has been done by me. I built it in 2019 and ran it for 3 races. Then I decided I wanted to go pursue a to be a guide fisherman. And that didn't pan out too well. But the car sat in Midland, Odessa at my brother's house for 2 years.
Wow. It's crazy.
So how'd you come up with the buttless cutlass idea for it, dude? I mean, you got one of those unique looking machines.
Your man to your left of you, actually, because he kept on saying the buttless cutlass. But then I wanted to be unique and try to be the only one out there with a buttless cutlass. But it's now named the Monte Pinto.
I like that. I like that a lot. And I was actually talking about that on the broadcast Friday night at Waco. I totally ripped that off from somebody. Somebody said that to me, and so I did it. But, man, the race itself, you guys, you with Kowalik and then Torres, I mean, that was just, I was so jealous watching that for a lot of reasons. But kind of take us through that race, dude. You did one hell of a job getting up on the wheel right there and just holding those dudes off. I mean, that's the thing about Cotton Bowl. That track is so wide. Wide. They were coming at you every which way, dude, and you would just horsepower off and outrun them.
I didn't actually know Torres was behind me majority of the race until my wife and my brother told me after the race. I knew Kowalik came out to the outside of me after the caution, and he got by me on the front straightaway, and that really, really opened my eyes. And I kept on thinking to myself, everybody kept on telling me last year and during the off season, especially shot guy Russell Vickery.
There he is.
Grow some damn balls. And going into turn 1, I slid it off in there and it stuck. I did it the same thing in turn 3 and 4. It stuck. And the longer this car runs, the faster it gets. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Same way with the Longhorn car back in the day. The longer the race goes, the faster the car gets.
I love it.
I see a t-shirt opportunity with on-demand shirts where it just says "Grow some balls," number 22. I think.
That could be a possibility.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, but you definitely so kind of talk about. I mean, for you, the transition. I mean, the years of pavement. You know, whether it be at Austin or Kyle. I love to ask guys, you know, especially guys that I raced with, you know, that make the transition over to dirt, because I know in the limited times that I've raced, at times dirt can race like pavement depending on what the surface does. But with what you're doing now with these cars, those big old wide footprints that you have with these, kind of talk about the transition right there. How much could you apply what you did before to what you're doing now with a factory stock? That's what.
Zero.
Yeah. Yep.
It is a total new learning curve. And for an old guy like me, it took me a while to get to where I could actually drive the car.
Yeah. Yep.
And I've had numerous people say it is a totally different ball game, and it's been taking me a while to get used to it. I had the Nova out there. I also had the 78 Caprice. Then I just finally decided to build a metric car, and this thing has made a 180-degree turnaround since I built it.
Tim, to me, sorry, Bobby, I have to say this or I'll forget. I'm sorry that I always say that because I will forget. To me, racing on pavement, whether it was a Longhorn or not, I was always in control. I felt like I put the car where it needed to go. I think on dirt, I think that was the one thing that always threw me off, is that I would try to put it somewhere and it didn't go where I wanted it to go. And then I had to figure out how to get it to where it needed to be. And I think that's the biggest challenge that I have always had when I've tried to do that.
Yes, you can't you can manhandle these cars to a certain extent, but you just got to let the car do what it wants to, and where the car likes to be on the track. Just basically like Saturday, I was putting the car where the car wanted to go. Mm-hmm. Go enter in the middle, come out low, and the car was fast.
Mm-hmm. Dude, talk about the old days, man. We've been talking about Longhorn Speedway, Caldwell County, all that good stuff. Talk for the people that don't know. You've been doing this shit a long time, man. Talk about some of the good old days, dude.
Oh, I started racing, I think it was 1994 when I was in high school.
It was. That's when it was.
That's when it was?
That's when it was.
And actually, Rodney, your dad is the first one to build my motor. And the second night out at Longhorn, I can remember this like it was yesterday. The second night out at Longhorn Speedway, it was in April when I brought the car out, because good friend of mine at the time, and still a great friend of mine, Sean Paul Lehman, he brought his new car out the beginning of that year, and my car wasn't ready. Terry James was doing the roll cage to it, of course. I brought the car out in April or May, somewhere around on that time. My second night out with the car, I started on the pole. I won the feature. That was going against the guys that were at Longhorn at the time. That was a big thing. We're talking about Bump Harrison, Lynn Pierce, Jeff Clark, all the good guys. And running side by side with Bump Harrison for 10 laps while he was on the outside, that was awesome.
Yeah. I remember those times, man. I mean, I remember it all so vividly when y'all put that car together. Remember all of that. And then when you got the chance there with Lou, and I will say to this day that I think those couple of years of street stock racing that we had there, that you and I were a part of there at Longhorn, that was the most stacked class of race cars that you were going to find. I know we had a lot of good years in Kyle. I know Kyle was a lot of good, but that 96, 97,
98,
dude, those were the best times. Those were the best times that we raced.
And Rodney, I'm actually thinking about doing this, but I haven't mentioned it to anybody yet. I still have the pink car.
Is that right?
I still have the pink 07, and I still have the blue and silver 54.
Oh my God, man.
And I'm actually thinking about bringing one out for the Fireball class at I-37.
Man, that or take Texana for a hobby stock.
Exactly.
Oh man. Hey, my shit still fits. Barely.
Hey, I still got both cars. I still have both motors. Both cars are basically race ready, but I just got to put them back together.
That's crazy. That's awesome, dude.
Hey, I'll let you get in one. Which one you want to get into.
Helmet's right up here. I put it right there. It's like I put it right there because when somebody says go, I'll just grab that son of a bitch, and the Hans device is still valid.
I still think the pink car is better than the blue car, even though they are exactly identical.
Tim, I don't care, dude. You could put me on secretariat. I'm gonna fucking finish last these days. It doesn't matter anymore.
Well, when I got all this started back in '94, it was actually before that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, my dad started sponsoring you with radiators. Calvin Cantwell, Ralph Cantwell. Then he ventured out to Terry James, Junior Medlock, Sean Paul Lehman. But that's a whole different other story. But I started going out to the racetrack when I was 6 there at Longhorn.
Yeah.
So I've been around a while.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. And Bobby, you ain't no damn spring chicken. Bobby's over there laughing and shit because we're old. Hard there, buddy.
I remember the late nights at the Caldwell County shop over there at the radiator shop, trying to put those lug nuts on backwards and all kind of shit over there. So
I still have that picture, Bobby,
which one?
of you putting the lug nuts on backwards on my green Camaro. I still have one of those pictures.
Damn, I didn't think there was photographic evidence of that.
Yes, there is photographic evidence. I haven't brought it out yet.
Oh, Bobby. Well, so that was ahead of the time, because then they made lug nuts that you could do reversible. So
yes, sir.
So you were kind of a trendsetter.
As a trendsetter.
Yeah. So Tim, I do want to ask you, and again, I know we're having a lot of fun here, just bench racing and talking memories and all this. And again, I don't want to damper anything, but I know that, I mean, like you were talking about with your dad. I mean, that was again, one of the phrases that I use every day. And it doesn't matter if it's in business or racing or whatever. Somebody tells me something, and I will say, "That's a bunch of bullshit." And that was your dad right there.
Yes, sir.
When something would happen, dude. I got to tell you, man, being that not only opening weekend, but being that it was on Easter, the significance of Easter, I think it's really damn cool, dude, that you go out and you win your first dirt track feature race on Easter. That had to make it even 5,000 times more special, brother.
Yes, it did. Got to thank God for everything that he's done for me and done for everybody in the racing community, the racetracks. If, like I said in my interview, if it wasn't for God, none of us would be here. Mm-hmm. He's kept me out of a lot of crap as Caldwell County resident. You should know that.
Yeah.
But on Easter weekend, it is special because we all got to celebrate Easter, and we all got to celebrate my first win at the family's house. Mm-hmm. First win on dirt, not asphalt. Yep. But it has been, I think, 13 years, actually since 2013, since the last race I won, which you announced there at CTS in the Grand Stocks.
Nice. That's awesome.
And it was real special.
Yeah.
As you can tell, it's still sitting on the car.
I remember that on Victory Lane. Yep. I remember that. I remember that one really, really vividly. Absolutely.
I'm waiting on that trophy to be up next to the TV. I mean, you got a special spot for it, right? That big ass trophy is going to go right next to the TV, kind of right when you walk in the house. I mean, where are you going to put that big thing?
Actually, Bobby, I don't know where I'm going to put this big thing because I have no room for trophies. If I zoom my camera in over to the left, I have one trophy out of all the trophies that I've won, and I have taken a piece out of each trophy that I have made or that I've won and made one big trophy.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. I like that.
And plus the biggest one that I have is the one that I got for being the crew member and crew chief from Donnie and Hunter when Hunter won the championship there at San Antonio, the one that's made out of the bleachers. Mm-hmm. That one is sitting right next to my bed. It's 5 foot tall.
Yeah. I remember those. Those are really cool. So we were talking there about Longhorn. Talk about Cotton Bowl Speedway. I really think I say a lot of times it is very much, it's kind of the Longhorn, Thunderhill, CTS, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of the landing spot where folks that used to go there, whether racing or you go walk through the crowd, and it's a lot of people that used to go to the races at those places. So I think it really is. It seems like every Saturday that they're racing, and again, it's April 13th, the next one coming up. seems like a homecoming every time that I go there, because it's like people that I remember from one of those other two joints.
And it's you're right on that one, Rodney. It's crazy that I get to race against some of my idols that I had at Longhorn Speedway.
Yeah.
The guys that were higher up, the Steve Sims, the Don Painters. It's fun. As of y'all all know what happened last year with this car. I kind of destroyed it.
I was there for that one.
Yeah, you were there for the second one, not the first one.
Okay. Well, second one was bad.
But racing against those guys Saturday with Steve, Don, Alan, even the young kid, Dylan Kowalik, he's good.
Yeah.
It makes everything more special because, like I said, they're my idols whenever I was growing up, and now I get to race against them, and I'm having more fun now than I've had in the past 12, 13 years going to a racetrack.
Yep.
And thank you for Mary Ann for keeping Cotton Bowl open so we can have a place to race. Everybody at Cotton Bowl's family, whether we're blood related or anything like that, we're all family.
That's right.
Yeah, it is the landing spot for most of the people from Central Texas now. That you get a few stragglers that started running down an I-37, but most of them integrated at some point. Some of them don't race anymore. Most of them still do, or eventually got back into it over the course of the last 10 or 12 years. But we always joke and say, this track doesn't have what Longhorn had, and this track doesn't have what Longhorn had. Even some of the CTS days, we were like, it doesn't feel like Longhorn because we were so used to Longhorn, for 15 or 20 years after that. So I think that as it came along, I think the longer that Mary Ann has Cotton Bowl, the more it actually has this Longhorn feel, because you got the same guys in the grandstands that for whatever reason couldn't afford to drive down to Kyle, didn't want to drive down to Kyle. They're now in the grandstand sitting there at Cotton Bowl cheering you on because they remember you back from 15, 20 years ago when you were racing at Longhorn. So I think that it's a unique eco structure that they have up there, and a unique ecosystem where you get a little bit of the old, a little bit of the new, and a little bit of the in between. And I think that sometimes that makes it work to be a really good ecosystem up there. So it's great to talk to people that are part of it because we're part of it in one way, but yet you get a chance to be part of it another way. So
yes, and I was reading a whole bunch of the comments Sunday morning before I went to church of because one of those pictures was posted on Facebook. There are 3 people that actually brought tears to my eyes whenever they commented on one of those pictures. Thomas Taylor, Jack Sandifer, and Keith Sandifer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Those 3 right there, you can have 15 of these shows and still not hear the same story.
That's right. Isn't that the great thing? When you get folks together like that and you start telling stories, and it's always funny for me because it's like people start telling stories and I remember, I can't remember to put the trash out, but when it comes to racing stories, I fucking remember everything.
Everything.
And it's like people tell stories and I'm like, it's not the way I remember it, but that sounds pretty good.
Exactly. But there's a couple of gentlemen, whenever they come out to the racetrack, they come and actually find me, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
David Mackin and Lee Mackin and Calvin Cantwell.
There you go. Right?
There you go. Every time they come to the track, they make sure they come find me just to say, "Hey, how you doing? Let's talk bullshit later. Good luck." And that's respect.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I love those guys to death.
Yep. It's good people. That's good people.
Yes.
That's royalty right there in my
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
So we ask everybody at the beginning of the season, the good news is you won. The bad news is you won. Now when you look at the point standings, you're up on top. Even though it's only week 1, What's the game plan, dude? You going to try to run them all and stay up there? Or are you going to hit and miss? I mean, what does the win on opening night change the philosophy that you had going into 2024?
It does not change one bit, Bobby. This year, after I got the car back together, actually after I took it apart in October, after Oktoberfest, I basically rebuilt this whole car from scratch. There was no bolt or anything left on this car. My goal after Oktoberfest was I'm running for the championship in 2024, and nothing's going to stop me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I set that goal out for myself at the beginning of this year, after I got all my sponsors and the car sitting here waiting for the wrap, my goal was to win 1 or 2 features this year and finish high in the every week
Mm-hmm.
and be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still in shock on Saturday night, so to speak.
Yeah.
After the heat race, I went and talked to my setup guy, Russell Vickery.
Yeah.
And we were going over everything, and he told me to put a setup on it that probably would have put me in the wall. Because I thought the track was going to go dry slick.
Yeah.
But right before the feature, after we done all the changes, I went and talked to Russell, and he's like, dude, did you get my text message? I was like, no.
Yeah.
He goes, go change your shit back, is basically what he said. And I told Johnny this, or Johnny told me the same thing. Me and my wife ran over to the car because the trucks were already lining up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh crap. We went and changed everything back except for one thing. And I think that one thing was my advantage. I changed everything except for the left rear spring.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And I got to tell you, I mean, with winning on opening night, I mean, I could tell you, because I did that before where I won on opening night, and it's like, it got to about 5 or 6 races in to where, like, my dad was like, we're taking a week off. You're letting this get to you way too much. And we didn't. Everything worked out. I think we got 1 or 2 more. Didn't win no championships or anything like that. But man, when you start that way, dude, it's got to, especially in the fashion that you did. It's one thing. I mean, you beat a stacked field. That was so impressive, dude. Have you gone back and watched it?
I've watched the heat race and I've watched the feature maybe 15 times already. And the crazy thing is, Rodney, I can see where I can improve on.
Oh, I know.
That's the crazy thing to me. Every time I know I made a mistake, I can see it now. And there were people saying I didn't make any mistakes. Oh, I made some mistakes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I know when I was driving, it's like you like to watch yourself. I'm like, no, I'm actually studying. I mean, it's even like with these shows. It's like, you like to watch yourself. I'm like, no, I'm figuring out where I can be better. So
exactly,
dude. I don't know what was going on under the helmet, man, but I tell you, and I think that's a nice thing about how great is that, because hell, I mean, you had to know they were there. But hell, you couldn't. I mean, I'm sure you could tell it was Kowalik, but like you said, you didn't know about Johnny or any of those guys. I think that's kind of the nice thing with dirt is you ain't got people telling you one high. You got one underneath.
Yeah,
that shit. You're just driving.
Well, that's what I was doing, because me being slow last year, I consider myself slow last year. I had a couple of good runs, but not many. And at the start of the feature, when I passed a 780 car, I was waiting on, okay, I know Johnny's coming. I know Holmeyer's coming. I know Kowalik's coming. I know Allen's coming. When are they going to get here?
Yeah.
When are they coming? Then when that caution came out, I'm like, where the heck is everybody at? What is going on here? And I felt somebody behind me a couple of times, especially in 3 and 4, which come out to be Alan. And I did talk to him about that today. I did chop him once or twice. Didn't mean to. That's just where the car wanted to go.
That's right.
He's like, no worries. We're all good. But on that restart with Kowalik, when he passed me out, like I said earlier, I thought my race was done. I thought everybody was coming by because us growing up, especially at Longhorn or CTS, when they tell you or when you feel like you're slow, you're actually fast.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually bored in the car up until Kowalik got to me because I was just basically running hot laps, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I was picking the same line, trying to get it to where it wanted to go, but the car had its own mind. I was just guiding the car.
Yeah, that's it.
But like after Kowalik, he got loose a couple of times, thank God, on the outside. And that was some respectful racing with me and him and Alan side by side for those few laps. Then me actually getting the advantage on the low end. Mm-hmm. That was the best racing that I've done in a long time.
That was kick ass, man.
So now the good news is, Tim, is now you finally get to officially say you've been on the Revved Up Sports Show. Because I got the message from Rodney down at Texana. He says, "Holy shit, Tim won. We're going to have to finally let him on the show."
Well, I've been trying to get Rodney to get me on the show for a while. That's it back from Snowball. Me and him talked about it.
It's not Tim. I'm forgetful, dude. It's like, I mean, ask anybody who corresponds with me. It's like, hey, remember this? I'm like, when did we talk about that? 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was actually a big deal to me getting that win. It's been so long that I have won a feature, and with my wife there helping me, she didn't come to the racetrack a whole bunch last year, yeah, but she made a vow to me to come to every race this year to help me. Yeah, she's helped me with the car, not too much, but just enough.
Hey, a little bit is always enough, man. I saw something that you mentioned. So before we cut you loose, man, thank all the people that make this possible. I saw your post there to where you get in the moment right there, and there's something that you may forget or whatever. There's not a lot of time when you get over there talking to Milton up in the tower. I mean, I think when he's there, I mean, that kind of changes it up a little bit. But talk about all the folks that make it possible, dude, because you got a hell of a program going right now.
Oh, and somebody told me he knows he's probably watching. Jose Moore said, "What's up?"
My man. There it is right there. Another Caldwell County, now Williamson County. He's come up here to the dark
side. Jose Moore with More Clean LLC. They have done amazing with my program. Mm-hmm. My wife, Soul Real Estate, TLC Graphics, Rowdy Roost. There's another one that I forgot. Russell Vickery with Vickery Racing Shocks. My man.
There it is.
Spring Racing Carbs, Pistols Transmissions, Bubba Nauman at Bighorn Construction, Terry's Body Shop for actually straightening the frame from last year. And I can't leave him out, but sometimes I want to. Sugar Sean Folsom.
That's the one I was waiting for right there. That's the one I was waiting for right there. That's a bad son of a gun right there. That's a good dude right there, man. That's a good dude.
Yes, he is a good dude. But sometimes he can get under your skin a little bit, rattle your cage just a little bit. And he rattled it Saturday before the race. He said, "Don't tear the car up." I didn't tear the car up.
You tore the track up is what you did.
I tried to.
Going to victory lane is a hell of a drive, dude. I was so glad to see that. I was sitting here. I was watching Bobby at Texana, and then I was watching your race, and that's why I'm like texting him. I'm like, Tim won or whatever. I'm back and forth, and there was nobody here but me and the dogs, and so the dogs are looking up at me, and it's like, what the hell's going on here? What's it's like he's always talking to himself, and now it's just a little off the hook.
Yeah, I got a text message. Ryan Childress, he's like a brother to me. He was at home. He didn't want to go out to the racetrack. He runs the 81 modified.
Mm-hmm.
He is actually the first one to text me and congratulate me not even 2 minutes after I won, and he wasn't even there. And he wasn't even watching it on Race On. Oh, wow. He don't want to pay for the subscription. Later on, come to find out, Wade Pistol has a subscription, and he called Ryan and was telling him lap by lap what was going on. And the first thing when I talked to Wade on Sunday, he goes, man, I called Ryan. I asked him what he's doing. You should be watching this race because our boy is in the lead and he's taking off. He goes, then all of a sudden, oh crap, here's caution.
Yeah. Likely story. They're sharing the password. He was watching.
He was not.
No, I'm just kidding. Good stuff, Tim. Proud of you, man. That was
Thank
really
you, sir.
Cool to watch, man. That was really cool to watch. And like I said, it was the whole Easter thing was even better because I know how special that is to you. And
yes, sir.
I caught what you meant in victory lane. I totally got it. And I think it was like whoop over everybody's head. I'm like, I know exactly what he's talking about.
what he's talking about. And that all came from Russell. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Russell, I've had conversations with Russell about this car more than anybody in my family, even my brother.
Yeah. But don't tell him. Don't tell him. He's going to tell everybody.
There you go. I'm pretty sure my brother's listening, or he'll listen to it later. Yeah, he'll tell everybody.
Well,
love you, Frank.
I told my dad on Sunday because Dad called me up and he said, Tim won? Tim won at Cotton Bowl, right? And I said, yeah. I said, I think they're on to something because I saw Frank post that they were going to put it on him Saturday night.
Well, I have actually put a lot, like I said, a lot of time and a lot of effort in this car to make sure everything is straight to the T. Every measurement is right according to, and I'm going to say it again, Russell Vickery.
That's right.
He's the one that made this car go around.
Yeah, no doubt. It looked good, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Good luck. Good luck on the season. Go get another one on April 13th and just win the championship on night 2, dude. Just take care of it. Just get it done.
The only thing we have to do is try.
That's it. Proud of you, man. Love you, brother.
Thank you. Love you too. Hey, Bobby, brother. We're still going to get in that conversation about that cowhide Longhorn hat from Longhorn.
All right. We'll get into that one.
Uh-oh. That sounds like a beer conversation right there.
For him, I don't drink anymore.
Oh, good for you, man. Good. Man, I need
been sober for over a year.
I need to go spend time with you. Lord knows I need to do that. Good.
Come on.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, dude. We'll talk to you soon, brother. Thanks for checking in with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on.
You betcha, man. There it goes. Terrible Tim Sewell. How about that? Big win for him. That really was exciting. And he did, man. He just drove the piss out of that car. And when I saw the ones that were coming at him, like he said, Kowalik. I mean, that
Kowalik on the outside, pretty damn good.
That kid's a bad son of a gun. And then when I saw the Torres start getting kind of antsy right there, I thought, oh man, here we go. But Tim just drove the piss out of it. That's the only way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, what little bit of highlights I got to see. I was still catching up on some of the highlights and stuff left over from Texana, but I hadn't got a chance to watch the full Cotton Bowl replay yet. But we'll see. Maybe I'll make it up there to do a double header. Race it. We'll do a race at Texana on Friday night and then race at Cotton Bowl. Go up to Cotton Bowl there on Sunday.
Yep.
Or Saturday, rather.
So
GMS on Sunday. Yeah, it could be a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Lot going on, man. I got so many highlights here that I wanted to show you. Actually, let's catch up on some of these comments right here. Let's see what we got because the comments are important. Michael, hey guys, sorry I'm late. Did I make the feature? Man, we never have a B main here, dude. Everybody makes the feature race here on the Revved Up Sports Show. No concerns right there. Yeah, Colin. Yeah, and congratulations on your retirement. Who's going to do this? The Baby Blue Hardcore Memorial. I'll tell you one thing. Like I was talking about, we had a hellacious night out there. Got a little off the hook there at Heart of Texas, and some stuff got shaken around there. But yeah, that stock car race right there, Bobby. We've talked to Marcus on here before, and I was talking to Marcus the other night when I was there, and I think that this Friday night show, I love how they've condensed it and moved it earlier into the year. I think that that's going to be one hell of a stock car race right there, and you're going to get some big time competition showing up for that one. That's going to be one of the races of the year, I think, already this early.
Well, I think so, just because of the fact that you're going to have some of your other competing tracks off, with the fact that it's upcoming this Friday night versus, a night that Cotton Bowl is going to run the next night. You may get some more stock car guys to come up there. I think that's a definite possibility for there. It's some of these big races is all about timing.
Mhm.
Is the timing right for this, timing right for that? Sometimes you nail it, and other times you don't. And a lot of times you won't know whether or not you nailed it until that actual race night. So I think that the stars are lining up for the Hardcore Memorial to be a fairly well attended event, race car wise.
Yeah. Colin, gotta satisfy the haters. Shit, you know how you satisfy the haters? Just keep doing what you're doing, brother. That's the way that works. Speaking of Colin and speaking of Zach, did you? Not speaking. I wasn't talking about him, but speaking of those two, because they were working this event. Did you see this from the weekend? This is kind of something that doesn't happen very often. I think it probably happens very often, but it doesn't get captured on video. Take a look at this. Oops. These things happen.
Yeah, it's not good when you take out your own car, make more damage to your own car, trying to take out somebody else.
Yeah.
It should have been just a little left rear hook. A little too much gas there, ended up in the fence.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things. It's like, man, that big old thing sticking up. Did I play the wrong one? Sorry about that. So anyway, it's like, so what video did I play? What did you see, Bob?
I saw some kind of street stock race on Racing America.
Oh, okay. So that one there. So that right there was horrible. I'll get to the other video here in just a second. I've got them all piled up in here
because I can't see them when you're playing them. I can only watch them on the replay.
Okay. Yeah, that right there. So that dude trying to take that out, and then he hits the outside wall and then hits the inside wall in one of those. That was an enduro at Cordele is where that happened. And it's like, dude, come on, it's an enduro race. What are you doing here? That not good. Not good. And that car was tore to hell. I saw some photos of that afterwards, and the video that I'm going to show later, that car was not near tore up the way that Camaro was right there in that pavement race.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, but that's a little too much. You gotta kick yourself in the nuts when you do damage to your car like that, trying to do something simple, like a little rear hook. That's when you got to be like dumbass.
Yeah. Come on, be a little bit better than that. All right, let's dive back in. We were talking to Tim right there. Obviously south. Let's go up north a little bit further, up to Kilgore. You had a big enduro race happening over there at. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to see this track up and rolling again. Glad to see Lone Star Speedway doing its thing. Let's check in. Our man Patrick Order checks in. Patrick, how you doing, brother? You look awful busy, my man.
Yeah, I'm busy all the time, man. Plumber by day, promoter by night, and then I'm a new dad, and so I just had a newborn not too long ago. So I'm definitely a busy guy, for sure.
Yeah. Talk about the weekend, man. Looks like you guys saw some footage on Race On. Looks like you guys had a pretty good show going on out there with the 275. It looked like it was.
Yeah, the Solo 275 put on by Team Solo and everything. They co-promoted the event. Essentially, they put it together and everything. Did a great show. I mean, it had a great car turnout. We've nearly filled the stands. Everybody enjoyed it. I mean, with the exception of new track surface and everything. And it kind of, track had character. We're still learning and everything. We'll get it down. I mean, just in all, it was a good night. We had practice the first night, which was an open practice. Anybody could come. But all in all, I mean, the publicity standard of it was amazing. The media coverage was great. It's going to help us out, from here on into the season.
Love it.
It's always great when your opening night goes well, because then you have so many things to build on, right, for the rest of the season. Talk about a little bit of track surface issues. That's just a growing pain, when a track kind of sits for a while and then it gets rebuilt and continues to get raced on. What were some of the other? We always joked and say that it's the stuff that people don't think about that makes it the most challenging. It's not quite as simple as just rolling up, flipping on the lights, and flipping a couple of hamburgers to make that night go. What was the biggest challenge for you when you first, like the aha moment? You're like, oh man, I didn't think about this, or I didn't think about that. What's been some of that transition like for you?
I mean, I've kind of had everything kind of base planned, but like the biggest thing I would say, we walked into not an unused facility, nearly 2 years of unused. So the big, I knew of track prep. I knew of like the place was going to need to be cleaned up. But, you walk in, and I remember sitting there the VIP section before I signed the contract, and I sat there. And it was kind of this moment of like, this is going to be hard. This is going to suck. There's going to be a lot of challenges, and people are going to hate you. People are going to love you. And I literally sat there on my phone, and I signed the contract sitting in the VIP section of the racetrack. And so it was kind of like this nostalgic moment and everything. The biggest thing I would say that took the turn wasn't even really getting the track surface rebuilt, but it was more or less like the publicity standard of it when it comes to the logistics. You got to be on top of it. You got to be media based, because if you're not media based, you ain't anything based. You're not getting anything out there. Everything revolves around Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and everything. So if you're not even on at least one of those, there's nowhere for you to go.
Yeah, and kind of talk about the challenges of that, because we've talked to a lot of folks on here, and that's what we do here. I mean, we want these Texas tracks and put it in front of people. I mean, for you guys, it's one of those things when the track goes away, it's something where it can be, it's like if it's gone a month, people forget about it. So to get back in front of people, kind of talk about some of the stuff that you've been doing there, because Lord knows it ain't cheap to do any of that shit.
No, it's definitely not cheap. I mean, like when at first, here's the, I leased the track, for instance, the owners of it, wherever, for instance, there's a lease agreement and everything. We saw that money on paper. Here's this down payment, and then there's the lease payment and everything. But then it's the kick in the face of like, ooh, the insurance was a couple grand for the down payment. Ooh, there was these repairs. Oh, I gotta go buy a dump truck. I gotta go buy this. I gotta get this, and then you do the tallying up, for instance, if to fill up every piece of equipment just to run a 1 weekend show, you're looking at upwards of $500 just in fuel costs. And so when it comes to like you said, even if a track's closed down for a month, people kind of forget about it. I mean, Lone Star was forgotten about, but not forgotten about. It's right there off the interstate. Everybody knew it was there, but they're like, nothing's going on. And nearly 2 years, and once it was the most simple picture. It was my pickup sitting in front of the sign, and I said that, like, the shortest line, I said, let it be known that Lone Star Speedway will be returning for 2024 season. My phone didn't stop ringing, I swear, for probably 2 months. I mean, it was just this whole thing of like, everybody knew who I was, like that. I mean, I was country based, even almost country based. Everybody in like different states were calling me. I mean, USRA was up me, ASCS, they were all there. All these series were there. Just people in general, like drivers, like, what are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do this? It's like, hold on, I just signed the paper. Let me take a breath here. And so,
yeah,
it was definitely a big, like, for instance, just going to like from I'm just a plumber and a family man to everybody knows who I am now.
Yeah. You're everybody's best friend or worst enemy right now.
Exactly. So trying to be the best friend is more difficult, and it's easier to be someone's worst enemy, is what I figured out really quick.
Amen,
That's right. Yeah, they're gonna make more enemies than friends being the promoter. That's for damn sure. But
Right.
talk about what it's like dealing with the series and stuff. Did you guys decide on USRA sanctioning, or how did you guys go with that? And then it looks like ASCS got a bunch of dates with you guys up there on the high banks.
Yeah, so we chose USRA mainly because we're just kind of USRA in general in this corner of the state. I mean, yeah, there's some IMCA more towards past Dallas and everything, but you got Boot Hill, you've got then you got Hunt County. I believe they're USRA. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then what is it? It starts with a K. Help me out here.
Kittadale.
Kennedale, they're USRA. And then a couple others. I had IMC actually reach out to me, and I said, "There's not really a basis for any of your guys' classes around here." And they totally understood. They're like, "Can we do your mod lights?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just got to figure out if that's what everybody wants." And we're kind of got a 50-50 thing going on with that. People love it. People hate it. People will live with it. People won't live with it. End of the time, sanctioning always brings more car count. I mean, I raced IMCA stock cars up in Colorado before I moved down here. But then with ASCS, I've got, ASCS Gulf South. Chris Walters came right to me himself, and then same with Nathan. He came to me with the elite and the elite non-wing 410s and everything, and he's like, "We want to be there. This is big." I mean, I think the only person I reached out to was honestly USRA.
Yeah, no, and I'm sorry, Bobby. Go ahead.
No, I just said, wow, that's impressive. That's when you got a good program starting up from the ground up.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing. I think when you have a track like the Lone Star, and when the word gets out that it's going to fly open again, it's gonna draw a lot of attraction. You mentioned about the resurfacing right there. What all has happened there? Did you guys go in? Did you turn all the dirt? Did you? What all happened going into that? And how quick has this happened?
If you were to crunch all the days down, it was a span of a week. I mean, it wasn't that much. It didn't take that long. When you got the equipment, you're going. But I mean, it was just getting the equipment that was sitting there going. That was the battle of it. I brought to start when we pulled in. I could stand in the front stretch. There's a culvert that runs under the front stretch, right in front of the flag stand, for instance. It's a concrete culvert, and it's sections, and there's parts of it that separated from each other, so water would leak past it. And the ditch that it had created was nearly up to my chest. I mean, it was deep. And so I remember standing in it before I signed the contract. I was like, this is going to suck. And so there was so much sand erosion down to the bottom of the racetrack because of the type of clay we have out there. And so there was probably a foot of sand just in the bottom two lanes of the whole track. I got out there first thing with the skid steer, and I piled it all up, and we hauled it off to the old turn 1 and 2 because, the track was shortened back in the middle 2000. I want to say around 2012. Correct me if I'm wrong. We hauled all that out, and then a racer, actually, Jason Langford, he came out. He raced as a modified. He brought his equipment. He owns a construction and excavation company in Dallas, Langford and Sons Construction, and he brought his big wheel loader out and his big cat, this insanely huge road grader, and he cut everything from the bottom up, down, and hauled out the rest of the sand that I couldn't get with my little skid loader. He got that with his wheel loader, and he rebuilt most of my exit ramp going off the track because we now have a proper exit that's safe and open coming out of turn 1 at the top of turn 1. And he pretty much and he brought a little bit of clay in from the infield. We mined it out of the infield, but most of it honestly was clay that had settled for so many years, and it was super rich sitting at the bottom two lanes underneath all that sand. It was just getting that topsoil off and getting it out of there. But there was just so much gap of trying to get machines out there, if that makes sense.
No, totally.
So now that you got the Enduro under your belt, what else? We talk about ASCS, USRA. What's the next big race you got coming up here? The next couple of weeks or so. When's your season start? Heavy for points.
So we got April 27th coming. That's going to be a USRA race. We got factory stocks, limited B mods, tuners, and then just my two of my track classes, Eco Mods and Texas stocks. We got them coming out. That's so much a big show. I mean, it's a big show in general because it's the first scheduled season race back. It's Lone Star Homecoming, and then the following week, not the following weekend, but the weekend after, May 11, I believe, we've got the Elite Outlaws coming, ASCS, and I believe that's the wingless 410s, and that's going to be a big show. Just, everybody loves wing sprint cars. In my opinion, I'd rather watch them without a wing than with a wing. I mean, they're ridiculous. And that's going to be our next show, and then it's kind of followed beyond that. I think couple weekends after that, we have ASCF Golf. Those are the 360 wing cars. And then, I mean, I'm just kind of going off my brain here. I'd have to look right at the schedule. I'm sitting in my yard. So that's what we're really looking at. We'll see the American Crate late models later on in the season, actually twice in the season, I think in July and in September. We'll see the big block modifieds. We'll see the Tom series. We'll also see the not the big, SSMS. I already said them. There's another one too. I just can't remember. I'm just working off the top of my head, but we'll definitely see a lot of them.
Totally good. So Patrick, where's the best place for folks to find your schedule? I was looking for the schedule. It was probably in front of me. I couldn't find it. So it sounds like you guys are you going to be a couple times a month or bi-monthly? I guess that's the same thing.
About twice a month. Yeah, every other week.
Okay. Best place to find all that for folks, because I know, because a lot of folks have reached out to us. It's like, what's going on with Lone Star? And then boom, there it was. So it's like, where can folks get additional stuff?
The go-to place off the bat would obviously be the Lone Star Speedway Facebook page. We're still trying to get the Lone Star Speedway website rebuilt and everything and rebranded. It's kind of becoming an event center website is what the plan is. If not, they can go to my Facebook page. I have access to both the Lone Star and the OR Motorsports. OR Motorsports is my company, or my promotional company. OR Motorsports on Facebook as well. And then if worse comes to worse, say they don't have Facebook, it's kind of a long URL. It's ormotorsports@lonestarspeedway.com. That's my website. You can go there for sure and really get the whole gist of everything. And it's kind of broken down from driver info to fan info, and everything. Everything you mainly need to know is on the homepage.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, dude, best of luck, man. We know it's a challenge. We feel the plight of the promoters. Rodney and I never dipped our feet deep enough in to be the promoters, but we talked to enough of them out there that know that it's a hell of a challenge, and we look forward to seeing great things from Lone Star Speedway coming up in 2024 and beyond.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, when I was helping out at two tracks in Colorado, El Paso County Raceway and Honor Speedway, Joe Bellum, for instance, who runs El Paso, he said, I called him before I kind of really took it on, and he's like, it is not for the faint of heart, man. You are going to take so much from left and right field, and you'll just be caught in the middle every day from here on out. And I knew that right off the bat, and I was like, all right, well, let's do it, and he's cheering me on. He's a great guy, and so we're getting through it.
And we always talk to folks where it seems like folks that take these things on. I mean, it's guys like you that have raced, that have been in this, because it's not, you said, it's not for the faint at heart. I mean, you go get a businessman that's going to try to run a weekly short track, and they're going to lose their ass, and they're going to get scared and quit. You have to know the grind that's involved.
Exactly. I mean, it's you got to know people. You got to understand the drivers and understand what they want. And I guess, I in a way I know that already. I know what I would want to see at a racetrack, so I'm implementing that at the same point. My biggest thing is I've raced at a lot of tracks, and I've helped out with a few, kind of taking all the things I liked from all of them, putting them together, and that's my racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way to do it. All right, my man. Good luck. Let's stay in communication, man. Let us know you got big shows. Shoot them to us. We're happy to have you back on here, man. Let's do some good stuff, man. We want good things for you up there, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it, man. Take care.
You too. Bye.
You bet. There he goes. Lone Star is back. Holy shit. That sounds like a very motivated individual to me.
Yeah, definitely. He knows it sounds like he already knows what he's getting into with the challenge, but it's one of those things. He mentioned one of his racers bringing out the commercial equipment and helping redo that racetrack. That's so important to a racetrack when you have to have racers. We always start racers buying into the situation and buying into the facility and the game plan of the promoter and stuff like that. It's to me is such a great thing when you see a racer come in and you see them help the facility out. Maybe it's maybe you'll get in free because you came out and did it. Who knows the reasoning what you get for doing it, but the fact that you have racers actually out there helping with the track and getting it ready so everybody can race, I think that's a cool deal. That always shows you that you get a unique system out there when you got the racers buying in like that.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I mean, and you get in a lot of these scenarios like that where you have, and I know, I mean, where guys have, and I don't think that's the case right there. It sounds like there, but where you have folks that want to help with ulterior motives. It's like, you get into it and they come out and they do whatever. And then you're into the season and something happens and it's like, well, hey, remember I brought the skid loader out or whatever. And it's like, and that's where you get somebody like Patrick right there. I think if that were to be the case, and I'm sure it's not going to be the case, where it's going to be like, tough shit, I don't care. Thank you for the help, but and I appreciate it, and you have helped bring this thing back to life. But that's not the way it works, and I think that's where some of that mindset, the mindset has to change a lot in this sport, especially at the weekly short track level. But I think that's definitely one of them. If you want to help, it's much appreciated, and that's great. But don't think that that's going to be like it ain't like a booty call. You know what I mean? I mean it's it's appreciated, but it's not going to help you in the long run, other than being a big time contributor.
Yeah, I mean that's what helps out. I mean, and the competitors will remember that. So hopefully they don't end up throwing it in your face. Oh, you're only kicking our ass because because as you help build the track or whatever. Hopefully it's an all up and up thing, which usually it is. The way that it works, but it's just cool to see. I mean, it's great when the racing community buys into the new community.
Yeah. Our man John Garrett checking in. I could say they had half a parking lot full Saturday at Lone Star. Hey man, that's great. And that's the whole thing, because it really is a challenge, because a lot of these racetracks, I mean, because I was talking to somebody at Heart of I was talking to Jerry Friedrich the other night at Heart of Texas, the one of the owners of Heart of Texas Speedway. They're doing a big time TV campaign on KWTX over there, the CBS affiliate in Waco, where they're running weekly commercials. And he's saying that the phone calls that he gets, and this is Waco, continuously racing over 55 years, right off of I-35, that people call after.
I didn't know that was there.
Yeah. I didn't know it was there. And it's like, it's unbelievable. And that's the biggest challenge. And like we were talking about right there, when you shut down or you go desolate for a little bit, I mean, you're going to get forgotten. But I think they're definitely going in the right direction there in Kilgore.
No, it is. I mean, it was a staple there on the World of Outlaws, and then when it was the great big half mile, I think it's down. They shortened it down to a little bit of a kind of a big 3/8 mile. But man, back in the day when it was a full blown half mile, that was the place to race. Big half mile, high bank, super duper, suck your nuts up down in turn number 1 Speedway. Man, it was impressive. Some of the older videos you get a chance to watch from Lone Star.
Absolutely. Yeah. Get yourself out there. Like you said, Lone Star, check them out on Facebook. I mean, be a part of that, because that's one of those cool places that it's always really good to have it up and rolling once again. And good luck to Patrick and all the staff right there. Hey, if you guys want to look as cool as Bobby and I wearing this Revved Up merchandise, there's only one place to go. You can go to the On-Demand Shirts store, which there's a link in the YouTube link, and I think it's on the Facebook one as well. You can get that there, and if you need your own merchandise, they will hook you up as well. We're getting ready for South Texas Race Ranch. That's coming up on Saturday. ODS will have a huge presence there. How about a word from our friends at ODS?
Hey racers, Phil Whipple here again with the Revved Up Sports Show. For nearly 3 years now, you've heard me talking about our valued partners over at Generation Race Cars. In 2023, GRC built cars visited Victory Lane on 46 occasions, driven by 9 different drivers. This year, GRC drivers are picking up right where they left off, as young Christian Gaston has already won at Cannondale Speedway. Generation Race Cars, located in Springtown, Texas, continues to offer new chassis body combos all the way to turnkey sport mods and limited models. modifieds. All cars are built to the same high standards we have at GRC. Justin Long is committed to giving each and every customer the time they deserve, along with a commitment to bring quality into every build. When you're ready to order a new car for 2024, give the guys over at Generation Race Cars a call at 817-528-2947. That's 817-528-2947. Take your program to victory lane with Team GRC.
On your Monday, it is Bobby and Rodney. And Bobby, I got to tell you, I have never been so excited to watch women's college basketball than I am tonight.
Caitlin Clark?
Well, that and the whole matchup there with LSU and Kim Mulkey and all that stuff that's going on. I mean, this is, as we look right now, Iowa in firm control, a rematch right here of last year's national championship. Iowa in control 63-52, and I can say a landmark night right here that we are talking about women's college basketball on the Revved Up Sports Show. Now that, my friend, is fucking hashtag real, well, I guess not real race talk, but we'll call it that. We'll call it that.
Real sports talk.
Real sports talk. Revved Up Sports Show. All right, here's what I was trying to show you all a while ago. And Bobby, I don't know why you can't see that over on your end. I'll work on the settings over here, but I know that you can definitely see it on the replay. So this is what I was talking about earlier when Colin, when I mentioned he and Zach. So this was, I don't know. I'll just let it speak for itself.
Fortunately, the only driver to come around to that whole ordeal was Graham, who will get that spot back, and all four tires are still inflated. He's probably saying a few choice words underneath the helmet right now. Oh, my goodness! Sean Graham just hit choice words underneath the
Yeah, I saw that. It may or may not be on one of the voiceovers that I have to do later tonight with our friends over at Race On. So it's it may have made a highlight reel or two coming up.
Oh my God, it's like that. So that's, and again, the other one that was a Cordeal where you had the gruesome accident. This wasn't quite so gruesome right there, but it's like, dude. Now I've spun out and almost hit a light pole, maybe kind of hit some tires or something, but damn, dude, that thing was right in front of you, right?
Damn near, literally right. I mean, you went dead for it. Like, what weren't you paying attention to drive right smack ass into the light pole?
You know, that's the best example here. Let's do it again one more time.
Fortunately, the only driver to come around to that whole ordeal was Graham, who will get that spot back, and all four tires are still inflated. He's probably saying a few choice words underneath the helmet right now. Oh, my goodness! Sean Graham just hit choice words underneath.
You know, we always say, and again, I don't know. You guys tell me. I mean, maybe he had a stuck throttle, or I don't know what might have happened right there. But it's like, you know, we all know he didn't, because he backed the damn thing up right there. I didn't let it run long enough when I cut the clip. But it's like, we always talk about guys and ladies. We put these helmets on, and we put these fire suits on, and we put this stuff on, and we go into a zone, and we go into a like twilight zone. Damn.
That's rough.
God, that you run right into the pole, man.
Just smack ass into it, like,
man,
boom.
It's one thing if you're going to be on the pole. If you're going to be on the pole, that's fine, but don't hit the pole.
Fortunately, the only driver to come around to that whole ordeal was Graham, who will get that spot back, and all four tires are still inflated. He's probably saying a few choice words underneath the helmet right now. Oh, my goodness. Sean Graham just hit choice words underneath.
Zach is like, he can't even finish a sentence. He hit.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, man. I been there, done that, where things just kind of get a little out of control. But, man, it's pretty rough right there. He drove off, and I guess he continued. So good for him.
That's an expensive light pole, too. I bet the promoter was happy about that.
Oh yeah, really. That was just kind of shook a little bit. The dude was hauling ass too. It looked like he was on the gas. He was on a mission when that seemed to happen right there. But damn, that's quite the shot right there. So we'll always have your great little highlights right there. The stuff that we find that we want to laugh at people. And that's totally fine. I totally expect that if I get back behind the wheel this year, that when I do something like that, that people are going to laugh at me. And I'll gladly play the shit if I do it. So that's why we do this. It's our show. We laugh at who we want. Ain't that right, my man?
And he's here. He's watching.
Oh, is he watching?
Sean Graham is watching.
Sean, my man. Sean, what were you doing? Dude, I need to, man, I would like to get him on right here. Man, I wish there was a way that I could pull him on right here and ask him what that was all about. Oh, man, I love it. I love it, dude. That was highlight material right there from my brother. There he is right there. Yeah, let's take a look. Nobody remember who won the race that night? That's it. That's it right there. And here's the other part right here. I love this part. Rap business slowing. He's trying to climb. He's a pole dancer. They're calling him the pole dancer. There you go, Zach. There you go, Zach. There's a nickname for you guys. The pole dancer. Just fucking with you, Sean, man. Thank you for having a sense of humor, my man. That's so many times that we've done that on here. We get people like, there's still people that won't speak to us because we do shit like that. So really crazy stuff right there. Here we go. Here's the further explanation. Trying to get my spot back. They were saying on the radio lineup, everyone was double file, and I wasn't losing my spot. That's what That's what I'm talking about right there, dude. That is fucking awesome. I love that. I love that. See, that's why we do this show live. It's like a lot of people, Bobby, you know as well as I do, where they're like, why don't y'all just record that and do all that? It's because we don't have this interaction. You know what I'm saying? And when we run that, and now that I know he's watching, I'm not going to show it again because now I feel bad. But definitely made the highlight, made the Revved Up highlights. I don't know about anything else like you're talking about.
It might pop up again. I'll have to be nice.
No, it's really good stuff. It was really good stuff. Here it is right here. And here we go. Here we go. I'll take any publicity. I need more business. Hitman Designs. Tell folks where to find it, dude. Feel free to post a link, whatever you want to do right here. Hey, we've got a designer that does all of our work, but man, you get on here and you post links on here and promote your stuff, dude. That's really cool. That's really cool the way he went after it right there. And good job by the track for putting the pole up, because that son of a gun just kind of wavered a little bit, but it didn't go anywhere.
Speaking of people that were on earlier, Eddie Ross was on earlier, right?
Yeah.
His daughter Kyler picked up her first career win there in the E-Mod there at Texana there on Saturday night.
Yeah. Very cool to see that right there. She seemed a little excited right there at the end of that. She didn't know what to say. I mean, it was kind of that first win jitter thing. I thought it looked like with her.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the Easter egg hunt running along, I didn't have a lot of chance to talk to her and get a lot of words out of her. But she definitely was really excited. She had such a shocked look on her face. She pops out of that car, but she earned it, man. She held on to it. It wasn't handling the best, but she held on to it and had a damn good run going for us. So cool to see somebody get their first win on the first night of the season.
That's right. Well, Sean, you're bringing him a lot of eyes. So you're doing your job right there. Thank you, John. Right there doing some badass reps. That's really cool to see. Yeah, it looked like a good night there. It looked like a really cool night over at Cotton Bowl as well, there where we were talking to Tim. I did want to mention something that I saw. Our man James Higdon. We see him, posting with different things. I saw that he posted something on Facebook this weekend where they were out, quarter midgets. I mean, he's got kiddos racing in quarter midgets over in the San Antonio area, and he was kind of talking about where you had kids taking each other out in hot laps and running over each other, and parents out of control. Kind of seemed like a little league game. It seemed like to me. And that's where, I mentioned a couple of things right there. It's like, they act like the big kids at their track, with the way that we act sometimes at the big racetracks. And that's where, I really challenge you guys with the emphasis that we're putting on teaching these youngsters and quarter midgets and doing different things. And I don't like with you guys with the go-karts right there at Intermission, Texana, with what we're trying to do right there, we're trying to make racing better, right? But when we're teaching these kiddos to drive the stupid damn things that we do as adults, that we've been groomed to do, when they're doing that at a young age, it's really time to hone that back, guys.
That's right.
Right?
It's easier to pull the reins back when they're younger than try to tell an adult to stop being a dumbass.
And this goes back to the whole conversation that we have time after time, to where it's like, where folks are like, these kids are doing dumb shit. Well, you know why? Because we taught them.
They watched us and learned it. Yeah.
They watch us. There's a word in the dictionary that is emulate. Kiddos want to emulate the figures in their life. And when they watch, it's like with the whole NASCAR thing, when Kyle Busch in his heyday sitting over here running over people, when in those early days, and then you see it happening on the short tracks. And it's like, why are people doing this? Because they want to be like Kyle Busch. And I'm telling you guys, in quarter midgets, look, these are young kids. And that's the other part. These are kids. Parents, calm your ass down. If your kid doesn't win, don't be bitching out to scorers. Don't be yelling at officials. Because it's just like at the big kid track. A lot of these people are probably doing it for a hot dog or nothing. So kind of,
especially down at that level, they probably are not getting paid.
Yeah. Back your tits off a little bit, because this is supposed to be for fun. This is supposed to be learning, and you got to be better. You got to be better. Come on. This is what's going to carry our sport forward. You want our sport to get better. Don't take it backwards. This seems to be what we're always preaching, that we want our sport to be better.
And that's hopefully the message that gets made. I hope so.
Well, I'll clip this, and they can play it at the drivers' meeting and blame it on you. I wanted to ask you, with the Dwarf Car Racing Series of Texas, you mentioned there with Dustin Rude, he wins again. I didn't watch that race because I was kind of going back and forth from different stuff. Was it another one of those big Dustin Rude just kind of checks out?
Dustin Rude stereotypical ass whooping. Just he actually took the lead on the bottom instead of the top side. Yeah. He went to the bottom instead of the top, but yeah, it's just typical Dustin Rude ass whooping, like normal with the DCRST there at Texana. So
maybe they ought to put a bounty on him.
Something. Especially there.
I know back in my days, when we were racing on pavement, you remember Rusty Young was the one with we couldn't get close to him. And it was like, I worked to try to get closer to him. And finally I did. And finally I got fast enough to where I could hit him in the tire and take his valve stem out. And I figured out that's how you slow him down. Oh, wait a minute. I'm just over here preaching about you're not supposed to be doing shit like that. Never mind.
Now they'd be mad at you at the drivers' meeting.
Take that back. Take that back. That was an April Fool's joke. I didn't really do that. But anyway, yeah, when I saw the results right there, and again, it looked like a very sturdy field of those for DCRST. Right quick, Bobby, talk more about stems. I think that, like we said, it was 17 the first night at 37. They're back on the track again this weekend at I-37 for their third race. 21 there with you guys at Texana, and it looked like some really good, solid race cars out there.
Well, I think it proved it's a damn good idea. I know a lot of people question what they were doing. And why they were doing it. But I think that it's turned out to be a damn good idea when you see a full field and you're getting maximum IMCA points with the full field.
Yeah.
Do the redraw and stuff like that. They had three really, really entertaining heat races. And then the main event speaks for itself. Obviously, the racing action was probably even better than the way I could describe it, because I can only talk about so much in one lap, right? But there was racing all over that, through the front of the field, through the back of the field, middle part of the field. Slide jobs going all the way to the checkered flag, and it's a damn good idea. That's actually one of the ones that's actually working. Hopefully it stays around for more than one season, because I think it really has the opportunity to do what it's intended to do and get all the guys that, get every IMCA player in the mod division to come to the same track at the same time and put on some damn good racing.
Yeah, I really like the concept. I know that when all of this first started, I would talk about like what Waco was doing there, trying to get, but that was a weekly thing. And again, this is kind of getting weekly here, but I know with a points fund and everything that is in place, I think that's something that's going to definitely. I mean, it's definitely working. Again, here's some like on track footage from Texana this past week. Video.
Yeah, that was absolute. I didn't know they were going to do it. I'd have pumped up the crowd a little bit more. I was coming, getting some stuff lined up from the new in the new media suite there, and lo and behold, I looked up and they were going 4 wide. I was like, oh shit! Grab your phone, grab a kid, grab a hat, wave something. Here they come 4 wide.
Mm-hmm. Grab your ass, grab something, because it's about to get pretty good right there. There was that QR code right there that takes you to the Revved Up Sports Show site. Again, your merchandise, if you want some of that on-demand. I'm wearing one of the T-shirts. Bobby's got the exclusive polos for staff only. So if you want some of that, click that little QR code right there. It'll take you right up on the right side of the page. You can go there. It says merch. Go there and buy whatever you want, and feel free to wear the hell out of that when you're out representing around the state of Texas or beyond. A couple of things here before we shut this thing down. Do want to give, I know that I posted, look, my man, Bubba Pollard, look, one of my buddies right there. What a run. Great job for him. It started out really good in practice. He himself said that he kind of blew qualifying, started 37th, got that thing up to 6th, drove the piss out of it like we were talking about with Tim. Really good run right there for Bubba Pollard. I don't care if it's dirt or asphalt, Bobby. I think that right there, what Bubba did on Saturday at Richmond, I think is very good for short track racing.
I think it raises the banner of short track racing, raises the eye. I think he's the next Josh Berry. I think he's going to get a couple opportunities to do a few more races there in that junior motorsports car. And, they had the right spotter. They had the right game plan, had a lot of the right ideas, and that's why he's able to rebound. I mean, it's great. He was fastest in practice and then stepped on it in qualifying. Yep. Started second from last and then managed to work his way all the way up to 6th in a race that had a few cautions, but not that many.
Yeah, no, he did. And I mean, it was one of those things to where he did. I mean, he just sat there and just kind of worked his way up. Just worked his way up and he did some good tire conservation. It wasn't, I think for him, it wasn't so much of a strategy race. I mean, he just drove the hell out of it. I mean, he was passing people right there at the end in wholesale fashion and doing a fantastic job. Also want to give a big tip of the hat to the Revved Up hat right there to our man, Logan Bearden, where it's like, boom, the dude working for AM Racing. And then all of a sudden here they are. I mean, they put this deal together. It was kind of seemed like a in the 23rd hour, they get this deal put together and he's racing in the Xfinity race. He put that thing in the top 10 at one point. He was actually running in 10th place coming off of pit stops and had a hell of a good run. And he winds up P22. And for Logan Bearden, that's another guy. It's kind of one of those guys where, he doesn't make a lot of noise. I mean, remember in modifieds and in late models when he raced here, wasn't one of those guys that's going to sit here and be, just flapping the chops and doing all this stuff. But man, you get him behind the wheel and that's a dude that takes care of his stuff and produces great finishes. And he did it once again.
Yeah, no, he did. I mean, he was able to get TV time. When you're making your debut and you're getting TV time, that means you're doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good stuff right there. Quickly, Sean Conrad, ASCS Elite Late Models versus PRI 410s this week at TMS. That's right. That's coming up because we start the, 2 weeks of speed coming up over there as we get the Texas Motor Speedway dirt track fired up and rolling once again. It's about damn time.
God, that's a great facility. They just need to keep that place running.
Yes, absolutely. Especially with everything else going on around there. I think that's something that needs to happen. All right. Got to touch on it. The Denny Hamlin thing. Let's take a look at this. This was footage from inside the Martin Truex car on the restart. And then we can kind of talk about what we're thinking about this.
He went early. Still you in 11. Stay in your lane. Still you in 11. 2 off to 2 wide. Still inside. Still in there. You ready for him to carry you? Still inside. 2 off to the 22 out back. Still inside. 1 off 22. Inside 22.
He jumped like a sumbitch. Like I said, he jumped like a rabbit on Easter on that one. I can't believe NASCAR didn't have the balls to call it.
Well, I will say this, and this is just kind of driver's seat thought looking at this. I think one of the things was, and I've heard it mentioned that some other folks have kind of picked up on this. He knew Joey was coming because Joey was kind of sitting back. Kind of lagging there a little bit. And obviously, you would think, knowing Logano, he's going to try to dive and go down to the inside. I think Martin, I think Truex was kind of straggling up on the top side. And the other part of it is with it, the 11's a control car. The 11 is a control car. So he kind of sets the pace. Denny says that he took off when he hit the line. It's pretty clear on that video right there from inside the 19 Toyota Camry that he took off before the line. But I think
it was clear as hell on the overhead shot that Fox missed it the first time, but the couple of replays they showed, it was clear as day without even looking at the analytics and the power bands and all that they have access to. He went before that line and he jumped their ass. I like the Borat looking meme that I've sent you a couple of times. I'm sure you've seen a couple of times today of him taking off. So yeah, he definitely jumped shit out of that, and I'm surprised NASCAR didn't call it.
Well,
but they'll make it for it. I'm sure someone down the way.
And that's where I think I haven't heard Elton Sawyer. Well, I heard Elton Sawyer after the end of the race. He said, "Yeah, we looked at it and it was a good restart." That's all that I've heard. I don't know what may have happened today.
He'll be on tomorrow morning on the morning drive.
Okay, so I was looking at it a little more, and it really was, if they're looking at it objectively, where I'm talking about Logano and the different things right there. That I can see why they didn't call it. But with the way that the rule is written, he definitely jumped it. And I think this is where, when we go to talking about playoff racing and all the different things, the way that NASCAR does stuff right now is that I think Denny Hamlin said, fuck it. I know what the 22 is going to try to do. I know what the 19 is. I'm going. I've got a cushion. If they're going to put me at the end of the longest line, that's fine. I've got to win. I'm going to be in the playoffs, whatever. He took a gamble and it paid off. And I know folks are all up NASCAR's ass about this, about botching the call. Maybe they did, but I'd love to hear more of the rationale as to why the call was not overturned or, penalized to the end of the longest line, whatever the hell the case was.
Yeah, we'll find out. I think he's going to come on at 8:00 our time on the morning drive tomorrow morning.
And this goes back to me. And I think Truex kind of touched on it a little bit, is that, and I can understand the frustration. I think a lot of the frustration maybe with Truex, if we talk to him today or tomorrow, is that 11 pit crew is just, they're just better. They're just better because if Truex wants to really look at this, he got beat on pit road.
He got beat on pit road and got used up pretty good coming out of turn 2, pretty good too.
Bobby, I don't think he used him up that much, man. You let it drift. You
didn't use him up as much as he did to Kyle Larson, but
yeah. You let it drift a little bit. That's where you can kind of pinch back. But I mean, the Truex thing right there, that's like when he drills Larson. And it's seriously, after when all that was going on at the end, I was sitting there watching that, and I'm like, how cool is Kyle Larson? All that bullshit he went through at the end, and he's laughing about it, right? I mean, he's like, whatever. I mean, he's a part of the caution. He comes back and finishes. What did he finish? Second, I guess. Third. I mean, he comes back and has a top 3 right there.
Running fourth, and then gets spun he gets loose and gets tagged by Bubba and spins out. And then he loses up to 6th after the caution comes out. They go in. Bubba has the issue. He jumped 1, and somebody else had an issue in front of him, and he jumped up 2 spots. And I think he restarted 5th and ended up coming 4th, and then ended up finishing 3rd. So
yeah. And then at the end, when Bubba comes up to him and he's like, I think a lot of that, it was more Bubba, since there's been some history there, on track history there. It's like, man, sorry about that. And I kept, if you go back and watch that, I was going to get that pulled, but I figured people didn't want to see Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
It was like, Kyle Larson, we're good, like 4 times. We're good. And Bubba's over there talking about karma and all this different shit. And Kyle Larson like, we're good. I'm fine. dumbass are the one that wound up suffering from that. But yeah, I understand Truex's frustration, and Coach Gibbs was heartbroken. I was listening to his thing; he sounded like he wanted to cry, and it's like, yeah, I totally get it. I mean, dominating car for the 19, but Martin's going to be all right. Martin's going to be all right. I'm just waiting, Bobby. It's like one of those things, like a grenade, where one of these days when Truex is just going to like explode. But
well, see, he didn't have that magic he used to have. Usually when he would win, he'd be smacking their ass and just spanking their ass and dominating. Now he's leading a lot of races and he's not winning as many as he was when he was dominating and winning. Like the Coke 600 that one year, 394 or 400 laps, he waxed their ass and nobody cared.
Yeah,
because it was a feel good story of redemption, right? When he came through, but now it's like, nobody. I think they're focusing more on the jump start than the pit deal, and I mean that sucks for him to be leading that many laps and not winning after that's what you're accustomed to for leading that many laps and winning.
Yeah, that's right. Last major league racing thought, guys. Don't be the one to go throw a bumper at somebody. What Joey Gase did was funny. And I will say, I think it's much smarter to go throw a piece of junked up car at somebody than your helmet. Your helmet ain't done nothing wrong. Your helmet's been on your head, and it's worth money. That bumper piece or TV panel or whatever the hell that was, I totally get that. And that was more personal. When you really listen into that, that was more personal than just being pissed off. That was a disappointed Joey Gase.
Yeah. And you did something special when they actually have to interview Joey Gase. You're like, who the hell is that? Now you know who the hell Joey Gase is.
That's right. Joey Gase is going to be on NASCAR highlights from here to the end of eternity with that one right there. Man, this has been a lot of fun. Talking to our man, terrible Tim Sewell, not so terrible, as he wins at Cotton Bowl Speedway. Again, they race on April 13th. Patrick Order, I think things are on the upswing right there. Lone Star Speedway is back out in Kilgore, and I think you've got some really big things that are going to be happening there. Bobby, let's take a look at our calendar coming up for the first week of April. It looks like we've got the Comp Cams Super Dirt Series, as they will be off and rolling. The Cannonball Street Stock Race over at Super B, the 99 Nationals Tri-State Speedway. That's going to be a good one.
That's going to be a good one.
Man, that's going to be huge. Hunt County is off and rolling on Friday. Of course, you got 67 happening at Texarkana. That's on Friday. And in the Heart of Texas Speedway, the Baby Blue Harcrow Memorial, $1,515 to win. That's just Friday.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Comp Cam's Super Dirt Series, they will be racing on Saturday. Cannonball Street Stocks at Super B. Kennedale with the Modifieds, regular program at RPM. Southern States Modifieds over in Cleveland at 105. Total Eclipse of the race at I-37 on Saturday. And, of course, the Texas Dirt Truck Series head to the South Texas Race Ranch. That's a pretty damn full Saturday.
Pretty full Saturday. Surprising to see I-37 and the Race Ranch go head-to-head, but I looked at the calendar. They go head-to-head quite a few times this calendar year. I guess if you're a San Antonio or Corpus guy, you got to figure out where your battle lines would be drawn, just like at the Alamo. You with me, stay on this line. You against me, stay on that line. So
That's
we'll
right.
see. Interesting way to see how your car count gets adjusted. So,
yep, had an old friend that when he had to make a decision, old Hispanic dude, he would always say, "Mr. Ronnie, anytime I got to make a decision, I pull out my quarter and I flip it, and it's head or eagle." Not heads or tails, heads or eagle. Sunday, Southern Wing Modifieds at Arklatex, 99 National still at Tri-State Speedway, the Rocket Challenge at Rocket Raceway Park, and then Grayson County. That's Sunday. Damn, that's a lot.
yeah, 3 days.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I'll head to the race ranch. Going to go see the family over in Corpus. So looking forward to that one. Good stuff. Good stuff. So are we going to do an eclipse show or should we just
I don't know.
assume the world's going to end?
We could plan on it and see if everything, crashes like they anticipated. The internet and TV and everything being knocked out for 5 minutes during the eclipse,
Oh, my God. Yeah, I've got a satellite dish. I hope it works at night. Well, it's night now, and it's working. So I guess that's going to work. Yes, I'll show it one more time.
Fortunately, the only driver to come around to that whole ordeal was Graham, who will get that spot back, and all 4 tires are still inflated. He's probably saying a few choice words underneath the helmet right now. Oh, my goodness! Sean Graham just hit Voice word.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. Good stuff. We'll get all that posted up and get your podcast for you and all that cool stuff. Again, podcast everywhere else. Don't forget to check out the Revved Up on-demand shirts store. Get your gear or find Bobby or I at one of the racetracks, and we'll get you all hooked up. Caden Petty looking awful nice in one of these shirts.
Yeah, I just happened to see her on Friday. I was like, you know what? I had one small shirt left, like as in a large, being small, and so I it's a little big on her, but she wears it proudly, and that's what we like.
That's what it's all about. Rest of the week for you, my man. What's going on?
Got to play a hell of a lot of catch up at work. Don't really have a race to go to this weekend, so I may just sit back and watch WrestleMania on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
that's right. That's right. Yeah, that is coming up. All right, friends. Thank you all for being a part of the program. Man, great viewership tonight. Thank you all, whatever channel that you're checking in on. I can't really tell where you are, but thank you for playing along right here. We always love your comments and suggestions. Again, if you guys have any show ideas for us, or you've got one of your racetracks that you want us to help you promote, revvedupsportshow@gmail.com. Shoot us over an email, and of course the Revved Up Facebook page. We'd love to hear from you right there on the old messenger. It'll happen right there. All right, Bobby, have a great rest of the week, my man. Glad you're ready to get back into the form again, and we'll do it again next Monday night.
Yeah, be back again, ready to roll.
That's it. # Real Race Talk from Texas. This is the Revved Up Sports Show. Y'all have a great week.